The Senate will come to order. Members, please stand. Today we'll pause for a moment of silent prayer and reflection, and following the silent prayer and reflection, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. The Secretary will take the roll.
Senators Abler, Anderson, Bach, Benson, Bigham, Carlson, Chamberlain, Champion, Clausen, Coleman, Swazinski, Dames, Dibble, Dornick, Draheim, Duckworth, Dietzick, Eaton, Eichhorn, Eakin, Fateh, Franzen, Friends, Gazelka, Goggin, Hall, Herr, Hoffman, Housley, Howe, Ingebrigtsen, Isaacson, Jasinski, Johnson, Johnson, Stewart, Kent, Kiffmeyer, Klein, Karan, Kunish, Lang, Latz, Limmer, Marty, Matthews, McEwen, Miller, Murphy, Nelson, Newman, Newton, Osmick, Pappas, Port, Pratt, Putnam, Rarick, Rest, Rosen, Rude, Senjum, Tomasoni, Torres Ray, Utke, Weber, Westrom, Uyghur, Wickland.
A quorum is present. Pursuant to Rule 14.1, the following members intend to vote under Rule 40.7. Senators Bach, Carlson, Champion, Clausen, Dibble, Eaton, Herr, Isaacson, Kunesh, Latz, Marty, Matthews, McEwen, Newman, Newton, Rest, Rude, Senjum, Torres Ray, and Wickland. Members will begin on the agenda today with the 8th order of business, introduction and first reading of Senate bills listed on the introduction calendar and in the addendum are Senate file numbers 136 through 197. These Senate files are given their first reading and referred as indicated. Moving to the 9th order of business, motions and resolutions. We have a few authors' motions. We'll take those authors' motions as one motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Motion prevails. Remaining under motions and resolutions, Senator Gazelka.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pursuant to Rule 26, I designate Senate File number 26 to be made a special order for immediate consideration.
Members, the first bill up on special orders is the only bill up today. General Orders number 1, Senate File 26, Senator Limmer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate File 26 is a bill that extends the remote marriage application. As you may remember, when the emergency order due to a health crisis was offered last year, many subdivisions of our governments, local governments, were very concerned with some of the restrictions. This bill references marriage license registration. As you might remember, in Minnesota, you need to be in person. At least one person of the couple that are getting married have to be in front of a deputy register as they apply for a marriage license. the Association of Minnesota Counties said, and they requested to have this extension, but conduct this registration remotely using digital resources. They believed that they could do that. We recognized that as correct, and as a result, we made a temporary permissive authority for counties to recognize marriage registration and have it done remotely. The problem that we're trying to solve today is that we wrote a sunset into this bill, and that sunset has already expired as of January 15th, just last week. This bill extends that sunset to the end of May of this year, hoping that the emergency order that we're currently under due to the pandemic will finally be over with the advent of more and more vaccine to the people of Minnesota. This is a very narrow reference in law. It's a simple extension, as I said, to the end of May. And asking for your support, and I will stand for any questions or comments.
Discussion on Senate File 26, Senator Bigham.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a good bill, and I encourage members to support it. In committee, we had a lot of good discussion regarding the waiver or the extension of the deadline. I think that the legislature should make a lot of these things that we've done temporarily due to the pandemic permanent. And I appreciate Chair Matthews and Chair Limmer for agreeing to have this conversation and look at some bills in their committee, because our counties deserve as much flexibility and accommodation as they can have during these times. And I don't have an amendment today. I did in committee, but there's a few of these. There's ones about electronic notary, which I think we also did something with during a special session, but there are a few of them that cross jurisdictions within our committees here, and we need to give counties certainty on this. They have been tremendous partners during this pandemic. They have really stepped up and have helped navigate this, and they've been tremendous partners, and they deserve the stability to be able to plan for their budgets, the efficiency and the effectiveness that this allows on them. So I encourage folks to support this, because I don't think we want a bunch of angry brides, mother of the brides, father of the brides coming if their marriage application would get delayed and the ceremony would not be able to happen. So that's the other upside of being able to support this. So thank you very much.
Further discussion on Senate File 26, Senator Limmer.
Thank you, Mr. President. In addition to my comments, I did omit one factor. We do have a retroactive provision in this now that we have passed the deadline or the original sunset of the 15th of January. Anyone that got caught in between these two dates, the 15th and when this bill gets signed into law, there is a retroactive reference that would recognize the legality of the registration. In reference to Senator Bigham's comments, Senator Bigham did bring that discussion forward in our committee. Basically, we see an opportunity that is beginning to emerge in a lot of different fronts due to the pandemic, relying on digital means that is legal, it's binding in a court, and I think we should expand the discussion to see what kind of silver lining can we get out of an emergency order that forces us into recognizing digital resources. And if they're legal, and if they're safe, and they're binding, we should have that discussion. And it may be one of the blessings of the pandemic that streamlines and modifies our way of governing on some of these administrative functions. But that'll take a little discussion, and we certainly want to make sure that we don't trigger any unintended consequences if we rushed it. So I thank Senator Bigham for bringing that subject forward. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any further discussion on Senate File 26? The Secretary will give Senate File 26 its third reading.
Senate File Number 26, a bill for an act relating to family law.
Third reading. Members, any final discussion on the bill? We're on final passage of Senate File 26. Seeing no further discussion, the Secretary will take the roll. Members in the retiring room, please come to the chamber to vote. Retiring room. Members in rooms 303 in the President's office. Room 303 in the President's office, please come to the chamber to vote. Uh-oh. Members in rooms 237 and 206, please come to the chamber to vote. Rooms 237 and 206, please come to the chamber to vote. I will call on Senator Frentz to report the votes of the members voting under Rule 40.7. Senator Frentz.
I don't look right yet. Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Carlson votes aye.
Carlson votes aye. Members, we're under a roll call vote. Please take your conversations outside the chamber.
There's that better.
Thank you. Senator Frentz.
Mr. President, Senator Champion votes aye.
Champion votes aye. Senator Frentz.
Senator Clausen votes aye.
Clausen votes aye. Senator Frentz.
Senator Dibble votes aye.
Dibble votes aye. Senator Frentz.
Senator Eaton votes aye.
Eaton votes aye. Senator Frentz.
Senator Herr votes aye.
Herr votes aye. Senator Frentz.
Senator Isaacson votes aye.
Isaacson votes aye. Senator Frentz.
Senator Kunish votes aye.
Kunish votes aye. Senator Frentz.
Senator Latz votes aye.
Latz votes aye. Senator Frentz.
Senator Marty votes aye.
Marty votes aye. Senator Frentz.
Senator McEwen votes aye.
McEwen votes aye. Senator Frentz.
Senator Newton votes aye.
Newton votes aye. Senator Frentz.
Senator Rest votes aye.
Rest votes aye. Senator Frentz.
Senator Torres Ray votes aye.
Torres Ray votes aye. Senator Frentz.
And Senator Wickland votes aye.
Wickland votes aye. Senator Tomassoni.
I report that Senator Bach votes aye.
Bach votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Mr. President. I report Senator Newman votes aye.
Newman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Mr. President. I report Senator Rude votes aye.
Rude votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Mr. President. I report Senator Matthews votes aye.
Matthews votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Mr. President. I vote Senator Senjum votes aye.
Senjum votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Anderson votes aye.
Anderson votes aye. All members having voted who have the desire to vote, the Secretary will close the roll. There being 65 ayes and 0 nays, the bill is passed and it's titled agreed to. The next order of business is the 13th order of business, announcements of Senate interest. Members, just a reminder, please check your mileage on the mileage resolution, as that resolution will be on the Senate floor on Thursday. So please double check your mileage to confirm that that's correct. Without objection, the following senators will be excused from today's session: Senators Fateh and Coleman. Any announcements of Senate interest? Senator Gazelka.
Mr. President, I move the Senate do now adjourn until Thursday, January 21st at 11 a.m.
Senator Gazelka moves that the Senate adjourn till Thursday at 11 a.m. All those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. The motion prevails. The Senate is adjourned.